All right, welcome back to Rare Elvis Photos. This is one of my favorite times during the day when I get to read your comments. So, just a reminder: the more you watch of a video, the more it gets ranked up on YouTube, the more other people see it. So, if you got a comment in this video, you're gonna want to watch the video all the way through because it helps rank it in the algorithm. If I don't get a chance to respond back to your comment on a video or online, just rest assured I will eventually. A lot of times late at night, I go through your comments and respond to them or heart and like them. There's just so many that are on YouTube, it's hard to keep up with. But Manja Sorensen 5472, you said it is getting confusing with that many books at the same time with their laughy smiley face. I apologize. I think there's 5 books going on right now, but I'm trying to make it easy for y'all. Just click on Rare Elvis Photos when you're done with this video, and you'll see the podcast and playlist. And if you click on that, it shows all of the videos ranked in order that they were released. And I've also put in the description part 1, part 2, part 12, part 13, all that stuff. All right, on the news video, Trista Zerby says, "Wow, the bodyguards sound like real jerks." Question though, the bodyguards are different from the entourage, or are they the same guys? No, they're the Memphis Mafia that Kathy's talking about. Hey, Teresa Kona says, "Nothing surprises me about Priscilla. She's got whatever she wanted, no matter what she had to do. Even buried Elvis and Lisa Marie. So sad."
All right, so I just had a nice pickleball match with my son, Tucker. And I'm back to do some more reading to these comments. I appreciate you saying it's a super song. You know, I love Elvis, and I love to write songs. I've been a recording artist and a songwriter for a long time. My first record I cut when I was 16. And then my wife and I cut several records, and I cut a lot of songs in Nashville. And I've written a lot of songs that I never cut. In my lifetime, I've probably written close to 3,000 songs and recorded maybe 100 to 150. All right, so Heidi said, "What an interesting book. I never knew of its existence until now. What a B Priscilla B was." Unbelievable. She had no right. She was an ex-wife, basically what you're saying, and she pulled those shenanigans. Thank you for reading to us. You're welcome. A great comment. You know, and that's something that, I mean, think about it. She's an ex-wife, and she's taking control of the plane and everything. Ex-wife. I mean, maybe Vernon didn't like Ginger. I don't know, and didn't want Ginger to be involved. But Ginger was his fiance, from what I've read and heard. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's just very unusual. Let's see here. A face in the crowd. What's going on? It's been a little bit since I've seen your comments. Wow, first commenter and just finished one and seen this. Hey, that's great. Awesome. It's always fun to be first, right? Thanks for being on here. And if I seem a little bit jumpy here, I am traveling right now versus being able to sit in my studio. So I'm going to play a little music here and get back. What's up, Jessica Borg? I absolutely love that you rotate the books and your voice. Elvis' voice is perfection. I appreciate that. It's very sweet. You know, I just have fun with it. You know, Elvis Presley, there's no person I actually like listening to more when it comes to anybody in the media from even, I mean, you had Louis Armstrong that talked really cool, but Elvis's voice, it was very intelligent sounding, even when he was young. When he was 21, he was very intelligent sounding. You know, people made him out like he was a dumb hillbilly. But, you know, Elvis wasn't. He was a smart, intellectual person. And it came across in his speaking and his communication skills, far above anything I've ever done in my life when it comes to talking. It's almost like he took a course on thinking before he spoke, especially later on. What's up, Edie? His promiscuity doesn't bother me so much. What bothered me is Prissy's story that she was having with another teenage girl while Elvis watched. I'm trying to remember whether that was in the Elvis and Me book that she wrote, or whether that was in the Memphis Mafia's Elvis What Happened, or whether it was in both. If y'all want to leave a comment on that, let me know. You know, I've always said what people do behind their closed doors should usually remain their business. But of course, when you got public figures, when you got people stating things, it opens things up. Now, Elvis was always very private with stuff. Madeline, what's up, Madeline? Prissy never loved Elvis nor Lisa. She used Elvis and still is, and never wanted her daughter. She's a horrible excuse for a human being, much less a mother and a wife. Just seeing her makes me sick. Elvis was so used and abused, and in some sense still is. So many people are still benefiting from him, and it's so sad. It's a great comment. I've always loved seeing your comments on here. Let me play a little music. I'll come back, and we will read some more comments.
He shot her up like a firework in 1954 when everything on records and TV was a bore. Locks of hair falling down over his sullen eyes, it twisting in and out and didn't even realize he was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. Whose mothers didn't know they should have those girls scream. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there's no Orbison, Jerry Lee, or Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, the Memphis Flash. The institution tried to ban him, cops lined up at shows. They said, shake it one more time, son, we'll see how your headline goes. But Elvis, he just stood there, wiggling his one finger. They still screamed and rushed the stage for their favorite singer. He was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. Those mothers didn't know they should have those girls to scream. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there's no Orbison, Jerry Lee, or Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, Memphis Flash. The institution tried to ban him, cops lined up at shows. They shake it one more time, son, we'll see how your story goes. But Elvis, he just stood there, wiggling his one finger. They still screamed and rushed the stage for their favorite rock and singer. He was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. Those mothers didn't know they should have their nose screen. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there'd be no Jerry Lee or Johnny Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, Memphis Flash. He still makes them cry and smile to this very day. There will never be another Elvis. Mark the words here that I say. He was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. Those mothers didn't know they should have those girls to scream. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there's no Orbison, Jerry Lee, or Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, Memphis Flash. He was straight out of Tupelo, Elvis, the Memphis Flash.
Thank you, Peggy. There's some really nice compliments that have gone by while that song was playing. Alyssa, I appreciate you liking the music, and I do read your comments, so know that your words, especially on these videos when I screen record, I'm looking at them. Sometimes I do respond to them when I have time, and I heart them and I like them. Y'all are very intelligent. You have a lot of passion and a lot of love for Elvis, and that's what I love about you here on YouTube. Now, there's a couple people that put things on YouTube, like I just had to ban somebody because they were calling Elvis the P word and the R words, basically. And I think you catch my drift about the worst that you can say, worst kind of word for those letters. And I just don't stand for that. I can have an intellectual conversation about, perhaps, the age difference a little bit. But Elvis wasn't trying, in my opinion, and the opinion of the majority of y'all, in fact, probably most of y'all, 99% of y'all, Elvis wasn't trying to take advantage of anybody. He was trying to have great conversations. He was trying to find his soulmate. He was trying to find somebody that wouldn't hurt him, trying to find somebody like his mother. He hooked up with the wrong girl. He tangled with the wrong person, and I believe that child bride book is true. That she pretended to be somebody, she messed her own life up, and she messed Elvis's life up. When you do that, you mess your own life up. And any unhappiness she has had, in my opinion, is her fault. And that sounds harsh, but if you try to be somebody you're not, and you get involved with other people pretending to be that person, then it's your fault for what happened to you and what happened to them in a lot of ways. So anyhow, I believe Elvis was pretty honest with people for the most part. All of his ex-girlfriends talked about how, yeah, he wasn't ready to get married. Maybe he talked about marriage to him, but he wasn't going to be married anytime soon. Now, what's up, Angela? Get a grip. I believe he had more children. Priscilla is more than a liar and does not have the right to use the Presley name. She wanted a divorce from Elvis, no amount of money to prove children, all hidden. It does not matter to the fans. He never lived his life. Not exactly sure where you're going with that. You might have been talking to a fellow commenter, a subscriber. You could have been talking to me. You might have been thinking out loud. There also could be some typos there. So I'm not sure. It sounded like you were defending the channel, defending Elvis, and at the same time insulting us. That being said, trust me. I always give people second and third and fourth and fifth and 10th and 11th opportunities to come back and amend their comments if that's what they didn't mean. I believe the majority of y'all have a very true love of Elvis and a respect for the channel. Sharon, what's up? He had two Great Danes, Snoopy and Brutus, and I always watch to the end. Enjoy your videos so much. Thank you, Sharon. That's awesome. That's amazing. And I did reply to you. If you hit view reply, you'll see it replied. Something I didn't know. I like learning things that I don't know. I'm not a smarty pants that knows everything. Fairly educated about Elvis. Big fan. Been listening to him since I was a kid, singing his music. But nobody knows everything about everything. And so I think there's a ton of room to learn new things about Elvis, the possibility of some new things about Elvis, like we're maybe possibly learning about during the book, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Everything gets worked out spiritually, said Edited 356. It's good to take care of your own spiritual growth and not be in judgment on others. I don't have anything negative, no judgments on Priscilla, or anything to say about Elvis's wife or marriage, or children, except to say that it's difficult to be a celebrity or a famous person. Your beliefs may possibly be just programmed. You're not privy to all the information. I believe the information about Desiree and Lucy. Well, I appreciate that comment. I think all of us have a certain extent of programming, but then we also deduce our own thinking. We can deduce what we feel about a certain situation if we've got common sense and intellect. So I appreciate your comment. Donna O'Bray says, yes, there are pictures of Elvis, Lisa, and the Great Dane. Love it. All right, I'm going to play another song, get back to some more comments.
She held him close to her heart from the very start. Through every joy and fear, she kept him near and dear, with a love that's pure and true. In everything she'd do, a mother's guiding light shone through the Elvis night. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. Her hand he found peace, and all her worries would not cease. There shares a bond that never fades, it loves me tender shades. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. Found peace, and all her worries would not cease. They shares a bond that never fades, it loves me tender shades. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. With every note he sang, he danced on her heartstrings. A melody so sweet made their bond complete. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. Yeah, there's no greater love than a mother's love.
On the video, Elvis and Catherine have revelations the FBI busted into Graceland and J.D. Sumner's house. Team Elvis said, yes, Brutus was in the movie. And always watch to the end. I appreciate it, Team Elvis. I'm looking forward to having, I like the name of your username. I wonder if you're going to have a channel yourself. But I did subscribe to you. Any of those of you that are on here that have a channel or are going to create a channel, let me know and I'll subscribe to you. I believe in giving back, just like Elvis did. Elvis believed that, giving and receiving was important in this world. I think he rather gave, but he received. He received from his fans. He received financially. He received from his belief that God gave him. Team Elvis, I've been waiting. You're starting to get quite a book club mixed together. Just please don't read too many at once. 3 at a time would be good. That seems to be the general number. And I get it. Some folks are like, read as many. Please read even more. For those of you that it's hard to keep up on, I'll keep saying every single time. Look at the playlist. Look at the podcast. Just click on the name Rare Elvis Photos. I should give you guys an example every video, but I haven't done that. I've been not good about doing that. But if you don't know how to find them, do so. But I also get the idea that maybe trying to keep up with too many stories at once is a little distracting. But I try to think of it as maybe having a lot of cross-references of potential stories to see whether they match up, whether they're way different, and have conversations about that too. But appreciate your comment, Team Elvis. At Edited 356, the thing about Lucy and Desiree is what I comprehend, and I don't care about the disbelief comments. This information has been out since the 90s, or 80s, sorry, the book was written, the info buried or hidden. From what I read, Lucy wanted her daughter to know about her heritage, parent, and the truth to be known. Too much of the time, the truth is not known. There was talk of a movie being made. I would love to see that happen. And I'll talk to the author about that to see whether that's still on the table. All right, well, I am getting ready to read another book, so I wanted to leave this comment video in the middle of the day. We might do another one this evening. So hopefully your comment's featured. If not, just look in future videos, and eventually everybody's comments are going to get featured. That's my hope, if I can get to that. You know what I'm saying? Mary said Desiree looks nothing like Elvis. People must be blind. So I appreciate your opinion on that. Let's play a song, and we're out of here. This is Rare Elvis Photos. Thanks for joining.
The king in his blue suede shoes stepped through the White House doors. The country was going down the tubes. Elvis couldn't be ignored. Nixon at his desk all stern, wondering what the king might say. He didn't like the Memphis Flash until meeting him that day. The king and the president, rock and roll and politics. Let's make a change, let's take a stand. Nixon then shook his head. Nobody saw those two a mixing. Elvis and Nixon. Elvis said with a serious look, I'm here to help with the youth. Let the real revolution begin. The badge was all it took. The king and the president, rock and roll and politics. Let's make a change, let's take a stand. Nixon then shook his head. Nobody saw those two a mixing. Elvis and Nixon. Nixon a 45, he brought him as a gift. The president knew this was a day he never would forget. The king and the president, rock and roll and politics. Let's make a change, let's take a stand. Nixon then shook his hand. Nobody saw those two mixing, Elvis and Nixon. King and the president, rock and roll and politics. Let's make a change, let's take a stand. Nixon then shook his hand. Nobody saw those two mixing, Elvis and Nixon. He handed Nixon a .45. He brought him as a gift. The president knew this was a day he never would forget. The king and the president, rock and roll in politics. Let's make a change, let's take a stand. Nixon then shook his hand. Nobody saw those two mixing, Elvis and Nixon.
Thanks for joining me. Rarest Photos over and out. TCB TLC.